Why do you want them to listen to your podcast?
So that when they think about starting a business, they've got the content that is pointing them in the right direction.
That is such a valuable piece of advice there.
The change in mindset makes a massive difference.
Welcome to Aussie Lawn Star.
When did I start out on my own?
Yeah.
2 years ago. So, well, it would be longer than 2 years ago now.
Yeah, I reckon it would
Like
be.
2.5 years ago, I think. But initially I started out doing first and second fix electrical for the first 5 months and then sort of transitioned over into garden maintenance,
Yeah.
which was a weird transition to go from electrical to garden maintenance. But at the time, my dad had a Fox franchise round. And so he sort of handballed, his clients that he could over to me. And I started taking those on and then doing electrical on the days, because I started middle of winter as well. So I was doing electrical on the days where I didn't have lawns or cleanups to do. And then just sort of went from there, started bit of work experience with Dad for the first few weeks, and then him sort of teaching me the ropes and how to do everything.
Yeah.
And then, just figured it out as I went, and then signed up to horticulture straight away. And I haven't looked back. It's honestly, I love what I do for work. So it does touch over a lot of like agricultural sides of things, and it's sort of a lot of things cross over in terms of conservation land management, viticulture, agriculture, and then horticulture as well. Like there's all certain things that cross over.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I did TAFE out at Barossa, so they do viticulture and stuff there as well, and it's all like grapevines and stuff everywhere. So we got to learn about a lot of the different types of gall. I'm going on about bugs again.
So
and all the different diseases and stuff you can get, and that's what really sparks my interest. I'm not 100% good at the Latin pronunciations of things. Like I can see the word in my head, but I can't get it from my brain to out my mouth.
Fair enough.
I don't know how people do it. I've got a friend who's been in the horticultural industry for 6+ years, and she's actually just done a diploma in conservation land management. And she'll just be like, "That's a club." And I'm like, how do you even retain that word? Like
that's my frustration. I've looked at trying to learn those things. I've not done a horticulture certificate myself, but trying to learn all the different names, and it's like my mind is blown. It's just like, no, there's no room for that.
Gary, I'm dyslexic. You should see me trying to do my hort course, and I'm like, say it, let alone spell it or read it. I'm like, what is this word?
That botanical field guide
terrible.
I gave you guys that I lost.
Yeah.
My teacher give me another one.
It's great.
That's really good. I'll have to get the name of it for you. But that's something definitely keep in the worksheet, and it's so good to reference to in terms of root systems, flowers, everything, leaf shapes, stamens. It's got everything in there, and it explains it really like in depth. It's a really good little booklet to have.
Yeah, it sounds like it's very handy. So talking to somebody else about viticulture, the reason they left viticulture was because they were getting stung by bees and wasps all the time.
Oh, don't do not talk to me about bees.
That's right. So it is true
I
then.
went and did a beekeeping course. I did a beekeeping course and I got stung 19 times on my ankles.
Ouch.
Apparently they don't like the colour black. I had black socks on, had a full kitted up, had my black socks on, and they all just went for my ankles. I ended up in hospital.
Oh, no.
I've never been in so much pain. I couldn't walk for
She had
2-3
cankles.
days. Yeah.
So when I was a kid, I got an older brother and a younger brother, and our next door neighbours had beehives. And my older brother was like, "Come down to the fence and we'll throw a brick at the neighbour's beehive." And my younger brother followed us down there, and we're like, "Dale, don't follow us. Get back, stay away from the beehive." And he just went and stood beside the beehive and wouldn't move. He refused to move. So older brother threw the brick at the beehive anyway.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Brothers.
And, you can really hear the difference in their tone. It goes from like a to and that's when they're really aggressive. And they set out that pheromone as well. And as soon as one releases that pheromone, they all just go into anger zone.
Yep.
And also another thing that affects them, which I found quite interesting, is canola.
Okay.
So apparently canola is like cocaine to bees.
Wow. There you go.
Makes them go crazy.
No.
Yeah, makes them real aggressive and like, woo.
Yeah. Well, I think I have no idea how many stingers we had to pull out of Dale's back. I know it was a lot. And I know we were in trouble.
Oh, I bet you were.
Do you know what they did at this beekeeping course? I got stung that many times and I was like, I'm in a lot of pain. I have a pretty high pain threshold. So I was just exactly how I am right now. I'm in a lot of pain. And they just wrapped duct tape around my feet. So they didn't even pull the stingers out.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, I've still got like ulcers and like scars around like my ankles. And this was like, this happened in August. So like,
No way.
it's not good.
Efficiency is the thing that rules a business and the decisions you make as a small business owner. Right Mowers give you the options in their product lineup to match efficiency with size, fuel usage, and the type of jobs you want to target, from catching to mulching or side discharge, from roadside verges to acreages, and manicured lawns to 6 feet tall and super long. I've been using the Right Stander I 42-inch with a Catch Pro for manicured areas and the Stander ZK61 to maximise productivity for large open acreage mowing. If you need to replace your push mower, try the 32-inch Stander B. If you have more open access to residential properties, there's a 42 through 48-inch option that suits you. And if you want to enter the acreage market, the 52, 61 and 72-inch machines have choices in engine size and model type to suit the work you want it to do. Right Standards go the distance, saving you time and money season after season.
We'll see how we go. So welcome back, Luke and Lindsey. We want to cover some different topics now. And Luke, you're talking about how important it is to build a good relationship with your local mower shop. And I've seen this myself in my business. The amount of times I've gone to the local mower shop and said, hey, can you help me out? I need this sorted out pronto. And they're like, 2 weeks. And I'm like, right. So I go and buy the tool, I go down to Sydney, I pick up the part, and I come back and I fit it the same day, and I'm back at work. No problem, instead of waiting 2 weeks for a mower shop that doesn't really want to help me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Having that relationship is huge. Like, I can tell, we were out on site once. We needed another set of hedge trimmers.
Yeah.
I've called up my shop that we deal with.
Yep.
And I said, I need a set of hedge trimmers. What can you do? He said, give me 1 hour, I'll get it out to you. Mate, calls me back 5 minutes later and said there'll be an Uber there. He goes, I'm paying for the Uber, right? And it'll be there. Just keep a lookout. Just told him what road we'll be on in this estate.
Yeah.
And no kidding, within an hour, I had brand new hedge trimmers delivered like that. Just bend over backwards. So you have to have it.
Yeah, we can't afford to have machines down. And when we take them in, they drop everything, push everyone else to the back, which sounds a bit bad, but we're contractors, we need it over residential customers. So they drop everything. We've got all mechanics flock like flies, and they get it all fixed, and then we're out of there. So having that relationship with your dealer is absolutely
it's huge.
Yeah, it's massive.
It's huge.
And countless times dealers won't put the effort in, but other times it's like if you're the business the size of yours, they're doing a lot of business with you. Whereas if you got a cowboy that buys a push mower and a blower and a whippersnapper and that's all they buy, and they come back in once every couple of years to buy a bit of whippy cord or maybe another whippersnapper, they're probably not going to get the same level of relationship.
But that's the thing though, stock in there.
Yeah.
Buy your cord from them. Buy your oils from them.
Cane bar oil.
Do you know, buy everything from them. Support them, and I think they'll support you.
Yeah.
So, like, I go in there just to stop in to say hi, especially on a Saturday if he's working and I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, take that coffee in there for them, for the boys. Do those little things.
But I do
build that relationship.
Yeah.
Which I think is great. Like,
I do understand that we have spent, obviously a lot of money at that dealership, and I understand that the relationship is amazing between us. It's good. But like you said, some other contractors don't have
Yeah,
that.
but it's about building that
Crux.
relationship,
Yeah.
I reckon. Like,
Yeah.
build that, get to know
Yeah, 100%.
them. Like,
Yeah.
I love going to our local malt shop.
Yeah, so do I.
Thank you, Paul.
I think it
But
depends on the mower
he
shop
knows
too.
who it is.
Because I've dealt with numerous dealers around Lake Macquarie, Central Coast, Newcastle, and there's probably 2 shops which show respect in the way they deal with me, and I value those shops like you wouldn't believe. And
Yeah.
there's countless
Yeah.
shops where I've gone in there and they've treated me like absolute crap, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know what?
Yeah, but that's fine. Find the one that
Find the one that you
fits.
that fits within your business,
You know.
within your psyche.
So I don't even have to go in there. I get a phone call every now and then and say, do you need anything? I'm like, yeah, I do. Can you this, I need this, I need that. We don't, like, some days we're not home till 6. He'll stop around after work, come past, have a beer, drop our gear off, send us an invoice. We fix it up that night, done. I didn't have to try to find the time to stop from working to get those parts that I needed.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? All the things I need. So,
and it's really hard to get in there with a car trailer. Like, you know, when you've got a big car and a big car trailer and lots of machines on it.
Yeah.
A lot of
you can't be stopping at the mower shop.
Yeah. Small.
Yeah, well, just no room to get in there when you've got a big trailer on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a ram pulling it. It's like, there's no room.
No room.
Yeah.
So,
but no, that for us has been
I think
huge.
it's also
that support from them, though.
I think also it's not like, yes, our mower shop is absolutely amazing, but it's connections with everybody. Like, I think that really is something that needs to be held a little bit more accountable. Like, these other contractors, just go and stop and say hello, spend 5 minutes. How are you going with your business? Are you busy? What are you up to? Blah, 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 blah. That connection in the industry, like on LMCA, you know, there's so many people on there that love to help.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's so many people on there that, you know, want to have that connection and, hey, can you help me with this quote or whatever, all that sort of stuff. It's all about, but it doesn't have to all be online.
Yeah.
You can stop and speak to each other face to face. Like, it is all about connections.
Yeah. In saying that too, by stopping and speaking to people, you find out what they offer. For us as a business, they might offer something that we don't offer, but we can offer our customers a solution to that.
Yeah.
Like
coring,
if that makes sense. So, look, we don't do it, but we use this guy and highly recommend him to do that work.
Yeah, we've got a really...
So, we organise it, do all of that for them.
Yeah.
And they don't have to worry about it.
We've got a really close relationship with a stump grinder that we use. We've got a really close relationship with the paver and fencer as well that we use too. So, like, it's just, and that's been able to grow our business from softscaping to being able to quote landscape, because we can do retaining walls, we can do fences and all that sort of stuff. So, connection's huge in our industry.
Yeah, I've done the same thing. It's the connections you make like that are invaluable when it comes to you have a customer that comes to you and wants something done, and you're like, well, if I don't do it, I can still make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, then
and I'll
they
either
charge
sub it
us,
or they charge.
and then we put what we need to on it.
Yep.
For our time. So it's a win-win for everybody. They charge what they need to get paid. We charge what we need to get paid, and everybody's making money.
If we don't want to do it, we'll just give it to them. But the customer's still happy. So.
Yeah, and I find that's an interesting juggle sometimes, is trying to work out whether the customer wants you to handle everything. So you do the subcontracting out to the other company, the fencing company or the landscaping company, and then you send the customer a bill, or whether the customer is really happy to go, okay, I just want to tap into your connections and get it sorted out directly.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an option. So, and we're all about option. Yeah.
So
building that relationships with everybody. Is huge within your business.
Yeah.
You know, it's a big thing.
Yep. And I think that's largely what it is that I do with my podcast. It is about helping people who are looking at joining our industry to look at all those different relationships and help them get started in a way that they can see that this is a supportive community that they can be a part of.
Yeah. And it is.
It is, yeah. But not only
Well-
that, it's lucrative. Like we have absolutely smashed these last 3.5 years have like quadrupled our income.
Yeah. Nice.
So, it's lucrative if you can make it work and work hard and get it to the point that you want to get it at, set your goals, know your numbers, run your business correctly, run it with the right respect for your clients and your customers, and call them back on time, all those good things that we know good businesses do.
Yeah.
You can make a lucrative career out of it. It's not something,
Especially doing that little bit extra.
Yeah, 1%ers.
Like that
1%ers.
phone call the day after, like, hey, coping with the change, like
This
after
is
we
right.
just knocked down a big brick wall
Yeah.
that a small retaining wall's going into now. So I phone them up next day. Has the bin been collected? Are you coping with the change? And, just little things. Are you happy with everything still? And it just goes
Or a quick message,
such a
say,
long way.
yeah.
you
Say
know.
the dog's all good, I put him back in the backyard. Whatever. Like they just communication, is
Yeah.
key,
Yeah.
I reckon. But
Yeah.
it's a lucrative industry, and I don't think people realise that. And I think to raise us up to the standard that we need to be at, and everyone needs to be at,
Yeah.
charge what you need to charge.
Yeah, there's a lot of places in
there's a lot
Australia
of
where you
places
can't
in
charge the
Australia where
same
you can't
rates,
charge
and
the
you go, okay,
Absolutely.
there's people who will always say it's not
People who will
lucrative,
always
and
say
people who in their own mind don't believe that they can make good money out of it as well. So there's a bunch of factors that come in there in terms of how people view it and whether their mindset is right for business or whether they're looking at it as
Absolutely.
different view and they can't make good money out of it because that's all they see.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And and I understand Australia is, a very vast place, and there are some areas that are obviously going to be a lot more lucrative than other areas. But I think if you work hard and you have that mindset that it's going to succeed, then you can make anything work. You have to. It's hard work.
But
It
I'd
is
like to
hard
point
work.
out
It's very hard work.
the one place that I have been told time and time again that it's not lucrative and you can't make good money is Adelaide.
Really?
Yep.
Right.
Not true.
Oh, you said that at the beginning. Yeah, not true.
Not true.
No.
Like where we're sitting, like with more staff coming on. So for the next 12 months, we might not see
The
that
profit.
from
We're
it
growing the
yet.
business.
So give that 12 months time, we'll start to see that growth again and the profits start to
And that's not just
grow from that.
It's not
from
just
having
from
those employees.
commercial either. Like Luke said earlier, our first week we did 4.5 grand. So the work is out there, and you can charge for it. But I think it's trying to build up your reputation first. So if you've got a really good reputation and you've got that word of mouth reputation, then obviously people are going to be like, oh yeah, I'll use him because he's great or she's great.
Well, you look at the month. What was the month? We turned some good money this month.
This month, yeah.
Just this month alone.
Yeah.
Lindsay's a numbers person.
Yeah.
I'm the go doer.
Yeah.
But do it. Yeah, so no, but we complement each other in different ways. Lindsay's really good with the numbers. I'm really good at buying things.
Yes.
Like
Very good at buying.
we brought our tax down.
You did bring the tax down, but
Which is another thing, like how important is it to
have an accountant.
Like
he saved us $18,000 in tax last year and got us a tax return. Like, when does that ever happen in the industry? So, having an amazing account. Yeah.
So, like,
Worth
we've
their
actually
money
got,
in gold.
a bucket company, trust, everything. And that bucket company just saves us so much money by paying a flat tax rate.
But who would have ever known that was a thing?
I never knew it
Yeah.
until he said, you need to make another company. We're like,
okay.
Whatever we need to do, Josh, you
do
take
it.
care of that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyone in SA, if you're looking for a good accountant, Master Tax.
Yeah, Master Tax, Josh. It's great.
Yeah.
Well, let's
It's fantastic.
clarify that for a second, because I talk about having a good accountant all the time, but the thing I've become aware of is the majority of people, when you say accountant, they're talking about a taxation specialist and just somebody who does personal tax. So what I'm suggesting with an accountant is somebody who understands business accounting and business tax.
Yeah.
But in saying, when you say business, you've got to be prepared that
Pay the money.
you will be paying them well to do their job, but you're paying them well to save you money.
Yeah.
And
Definitely that it's saving you stress sometimes too. Like, yes, you've got the end of year tax time, but it's not even about. I talk to Josh like once every 2 weeks about business. You know what I mean? And what can I do differently here, and what can I do?
But then tax planning meetings.
Yeah, tax planning meetings and financial advisor meetings, and it's not just about the end of year tax. It's about that whole support network.
Setting yourself up right for tax time.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, where you're sitting.
So if your business planning session with your accountant is only when you're doing your tax return, then you're not doing it right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we've noticed the difference in the business we started with Henry.
Yep.
So I know a lot of contractors start with Henry, and I think it's great because you don't have to worry about it. We ended up getting a $35,000 tax return, which is amazing because they tax you at the highest tax bracket.
Yeah.
So coming from Henry, which was really, really easy to use, to having to go into the accountant and sit down and do tax planning sessions and stuff was a little bit of a mind roll with me.
Yeah.
But once I realised how it helped the business and myself, my mental health as well, then it's worth its weight in gold. I'm happy to pay for their time to have that off my back, off my shoulders, or helping the business grow.
As a full saving.
Full savings,
I haven't used Henry myself, but my understanding is that Henry is a really good system to use when you're solo, when you're a sole trader.
Sole trader is fantastic. It takes the stress out. Send the invoice.
Yeah, they say push all your tax aside and then give you what you need. And that's pretty much your profit after tax. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that is good for sole traders. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We have covered some interesting topics in the last half hour.
We have. We went a bit wayward sometimes, didn't we?
Got well off track. But
yeah.
Anyways, good relationship with your dealer. Yeah.
Well, good relationships with everybody, and whether it's other contractors, whether it's your accountant, whether it's your dealer, it really does make your business a lot easier to operate if you've got those.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And I always like to do a little bit of a plug for LMCA because I think when people start in this industry, if they plug into LMCA, it's one of those ways of finding good relationships, helping.
I can't advocate for that.
So I'm not a big poster on LMCA. I'm a big reader of LMCA. And Lindsey is more than... Lindsey's always on it.
That's why I reached out to Lindsey instead of Luke, because I was like, well, I see Lindsey's name pop up in LMCA.
Don't think I'm not there.
I had to search around to go, I'm not sure if Lindsey's operating on her own or if she's got somebody else working with her.
No, we come as a bundle.
Yeah.
But I cannot advocate for LMCA enough. When we first started, we sometimes felt like we were well in over our heads, and I'm like, how do I quote this? And there is, the quoting ones, and some people like them, some people don't, whatever, but scroll past if you don't like them, because people need help sometimes. And, it's just one of those things. People are scared to put a wrong number out. What if you lose money? What if you quote too high and you don't get the job? So LMCA has been great for my personal confidence.
But this is where we talked about it before, making that relationship with other contractors.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Someone who's happy to bounce
off
off
how many
you,
relationships we've made from LMCA.
Yeah.
Like we've close friends with Jared, close friends with Craig, close friends with Kyle. Like there's a lot of connections on LMCA that you can get to, and the people in your area as well.
True.
Who's in this area? Who's in that area?
Yeah, that's it. No, I think the what would you quote this job posts in LMCA are probably the most valuable thing.
Yeah.
I think so as well. And I did, one of my first posts was a what do I quote?
Yeah.
And I think I got some really good feedback on it. And it was kind of sitting about what I was thinking.
And we're like,
anyway.
well, at least we're on track.
Yeah, and it gave me the confidence to go, I bloody did it.
Yep.
How good.
Exactly. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, guys, I want to say thanks for joining me in the dungeon.
That's right. Thanks for having us in your colourful dungeon.
It is a very colourful dungeon
too. Like, if anybody, in SA wants to reach out, feel free.
Yeah, absolutely. We're always open to have a chat.
DLM, find out contact details online.
Thank you for listening to Aussie Lawn Stars. Please remember to rate and review the show on the Apple Podcasts app or the player you use. Exciting new shows are released every Monday. Make sure you follow or subscribe to hear the next episode.